Last beginning of Season 3 patch notes, kind of meh. I think all Season 3 kind of just didn't really have the same delivery as Season 2 or earlier seasons. That being said, the bullshit in the game started in Season 2, so, you know, take that with a grain of salt. Alright. New stories, don't care. Battle Pass, don't care. Seasonal event, don't care. Competitive. Rank reset based on your final season 3.5 ranks will be demoted by 7 divisions. Okay. Yeah. Basically the same thing. I think before it was 9. Now it's 7. Don't quote me on that though. Arcade mode. Conquest Annihilation. Score 1 point per enemy defeated for first 50 points wins. Okay. Basically just deathmatch, rumble. Basically all the game modes are coming back. Arcade matchmaking. Team up with any number of friends. Pick 1 to 6 modes to queue for. Alright. So arcade for people. It's funny, I was watching a streamer who's talking about wanting to play with their friends and how everyone should be able to do it. And I was like, fuck that, dude. You, like, the only reason you say that is because you literally, like, it doesn't even fucking matter to you. Because you don't have to deal with the bullshit of getting roll stomped by a pre-made that then just stops playing the game once they reach the highest rank that they get to. No one wants to deal with it that's a solo player. Completely disingenuous conversation where it doesn't even impact the individual, but they're advocating for basically just shit on people because it might bring more people to the game. But then they just lose more people because then the solo players quit. So yeah, no, I'm not for queuing into pre-mades and then having them shit all over my shitty pug team. That's the argument as old as time itself. No one wants to fucking deal with that. The only people that want that shit are the people that shit on people with their friends. That's it. Which isn't the majority of players. New systems. Emoji wheel rework, guys. List format to equip more emojis. Get us into more scenarios. I mentioned before the not the emote wheel in the first place was kind of like Overwatch has a better emote wheel where you can literally just you open it up and then you can like left or right click to actually change menus. To like hold right, I think it was hold right and then left click, or hold left and then right click, and then it swaps between pages. It's actually very, very intuitive, and it's not really in the game. Very intuitive system. Use to see or hide others' customs, ultimate ability effects. That's not the big one. The sounds are the obnoxious ones. Costume rotation, randomize your hero's look. That's in other games. It's good. Friend suggestions that no one actually pays attention to. Slow walk, add a slow walk to PC version. Of course, there should be a key for that. That's was a controller only, so now you combine it to a key. Hey look, I zero input on my joysticks. And the only benefit to using a joystick in the first place is the fact that you have a linear input. Which doesn't work out at all in your favor outside of trying to look cool. Yeah, exactly. Squad voice chat. Okay. It's in other games. Download high-resolution versions of your gallery card so you can FAP to it offline. Oh boy, that's great. Should do what Overwatch did to make the models available so everyone can make everyone can make SFM videos. Totally legitimate, non-Rule 34 SFM videos. Overwatch did that, and then they rolled it back. You can still find some of the original heroes online because they released high poly, basically, versions of the models so that the community can make custom animations, right? And basically all it was used for is porn, but actually, like, still, it's a win for them. As it turned out, it's a win. They just don't want to admit it's a win. Everyone doesn't like talking about porn and the adult industry, but it's a juggernaut, guys. It's not going away. As long as you have those genitalia, it's not going away ever. Yeah, they had it for a while, and I think they, like it was prior to Rivals coming out, where they're getting like super stingy, super fucking stingy with their haughtiness as far as what you should be able to do and shouldn't be able to do. When everyone's rule policing everyone else Fucking obnoxious fucks. That was like in 23 or maybe 24. And like they're talking about how they wish they never released the models because people only use them for devious things. It's like they release models knowing that. Please. Fuck off with your moral police that you I bet it's like they're hypocritical pieces of shit too. Like they totally engage in that sort of ordeal, but they want to pretend that they don't. Now custom games. New in store, Angela New Hero. Available September 12th. Twitch drops. Events don't care. College perks. Approved pre-match hero selection wheel added Strike Squad favorites bar for quick picks. Neat. So I don't need to scroll 3 times and then click on the bottom right. 2 times and click on the bottom right. Optimize career page, fix incorrect hero proficiency. Vehicle speed for attacking on Arako. Okay. That's just the pregame. Where's the actual patch notes? Where's the meat? Where's the meat and potato? There you go. Remove team up for Vanguard, for Captain America. Cast faster. I mentioned before they could literally drop him to 400 HP and revert his shield and people would still fucking play him. Doctor Strange is basically should be like a snapping turtle. That's the way you view him. And that's the way he's played, right? Where he drops his shield, he fires, he picks his shield back, drops his shield, fires, picks it back up. Snapping turtle. And you could drop his health literally to 400 and give him his damage back and his shield back and people would still play him, which promotes you basically just DPing him, so getting on both sides and doing a pincher, right? Which is the way you deal with him right now. Or you basically go up in his face and you melee him to death. You beat him to death with melee. Still think it's a good idea. Survivability reduction for diamond form. Now longer cooldown. Pulse energy gain from hitting shields from 10 to 5 per second now. Fighter drone's new effect now slows hit enemies by 8% for 2 seconds. Each hit stacks the effect and resets the slow period, stacking up to 40%. So you get into the web and then it slows you down. Reduce spider drone release interval during ultimate ability from 0.7 to 0.5 seconds. So she releases more little spiderlings when she's in her ultimate. So now she's more threatening. Quite a bit more, mainly because her webs have a giant area, so it turns into a giant sticky field, which you should have been in the first place, mind you. Oh my god, you know what I have to do, guys? Here, 1 second. Chrome really doesn't want me to have an ad blocker, and I refuse to give up my ad blocker, so I'm doing anything to stop it. I really don't want to give up Chrome either, but the fucking assholes over there at Google decide that sometimes programmers get like a chip on their shoulder and they think they always know better no matter what. To the point at which it's literally not, like, they just ruin what they have. And by being idealistic, it's very common in my experience with dealing with programmers in general. They love, just like engineers, they love being idealistic and they know better, to the point at which they'll burn shit to the ground just because they think they can. You have to kind of watch out for that, because it's pretty obnoxious. You see it in video game development too. It's not just in, well, I deal with crypto. Or basically freelance programmers, or Google, a giant company. It's fucking everywhere. Everyone loves being idealistic, and programmers generally have very little oversight. and to the point at which they kind of can do whatever the fuck they want, and people don't realize sometimes how much it affects end product. In the case of Chrome, they're depreciating, what's it called? Manifest V2. They're depreciating it, but there's so many people that use it for so many add-ons, it literally cripples the fuck out of extensions, and there's so many people using them, and that like what you can use now is not nearly the same as what you used to be able to use. And there's no way to override it. They're just forcing it on everyone. And there's, like, the funny thing is Brave browser, Firefox, and even branches of Chrome itself, Chromium, are actually advocating that they're better than Chrome because they still support Manifest V2. And I think even Edge does, too, which is based on Chromium. Edge, too, also supports it, guys. And Chrome is still trying to hammer that dick into everyone's ass. And it is very unfortunate because it's Chrome is an ecosystem at this point, and there's so much stuff that's built for it, and it's actually a pretty clean browser. But they literally, like, they're dying on this fucking hill just to push this shit on everyone for Manifest V3 and getting rid of V2. And it makes no sense. As an end user, you should be able to override it and just keep it on. But they don't want you to do that. They don't want you to be able to use the thing that they want you not to use. It's fucking obnoxious. They fucking, like, Microsoft does it too in Windows. Like, forcing, like, new versions of, like, start menus on people. Like, I have this, guys. This is Windows 11. Or, excuse me, Windows... What are we even on anymore? I don't even know. Yeah, Windows 11. Yeah. This is Windows 11. And I have to basically buy an add-on to revert the menu to what it used to be, guys. Which sucks. But here we are. So I bought a program to undo what Microsoft forced on me. Come on. Like, I don't want it. Why take away options? You don't need to do that. You could just default to the more secure Manifest V3, and then if someone likes to go, hey, I don't like this, they go into the flags and they disable it. Why would you just completely disable it and rip the code out because you don't want people using it? You're like, bro, at that point, you have a chip on your shoulder and you should just be fired. It's pretty clear that you don't actually care about what end users want. You just want what you want. And I fucking hate that shit so much. So much. And there's so many add-ons that depend on Manifest V2, by the way, that are now basically depreciated. I'm sure you guys have seen that pop up. Yeah. Oh my god, I hate fucking developers like that. You want to express your power and die on that fucking hill. It's probably some sort of a manager or something, like some upper-level programmer at Chrome that keeps forcing that. Oh, it's more secure. We don't want to have to support this anymore. You're like, yeah, little bro. Yeah, there's always a balance between security and usability, and especially features. And you like, okay, like some people don't want to do that. So why do you keep trying to force it? And it's pretty clear 2 years later after you announced it that people still don't want to do it. So why are you still forcing it? We better keep ending it because someone might use it. We wouldn't want people to use it. And like, come on, get out of here. Unreal. Fucking hate that. Like I said, Firefox supports it, Edge supports it, Brave browser supports it, branches of Chromium support it, like Thorium, and what's the other one? There's another one that's relatively well known that I like. It's just like reading about the stuff, and it's like, dude, what the fuck is going on here, Google? What are you doing? Get out of here. Someone got too much power, and they need to be fired. Absurd, because there's so many people that are actually just pissed off about it. You can read all the Reddit threads of people trying to get around it. This crazy shit. Anyways, Penny is now slows people, which is going to be absurd, forcing you to actually deal with her nests and shit, which some people don't. I generally, like I mentioned before, if you destroy Penny's nest, she's basically useless. You have to destroy her nests, and for some strange reason, there's people that are pretty high elo, based on watching some streamers, that literally can't do that, and they refuse to try and do that, which is absurd. And it reminds me a lot of Overwatch, where people got pissed off when they had to work around new heroes like Doomfist, because he wasn't just a hit scan hero that literally just like shoots your eyeball, and it pissed people off. And I'm just like, dude, learn to isn't adapting like the go-to, like learn to adapt, right? I don't even know. Thor. Movement speed during ultimate ability increased because he basically just flies around and you can get out of his ult pretty easily and just run away. Thor cannot land his ult for the life of him. You know, stuns people for 1 second after you land. Good. Black Panther, after they upgraded or fixed his hit reg issues, which probably just means a bigger box, open and closed window for his hits, he's much more lethal now. And as such, they have to actually nerf him. Surprise, guys, like I mentioned, Season 2, something happened, and it really started wrecking the game. That's where we basically started getting the damage reduction shit going on. Damage reduction cheat, God mode, whatever the fuck it is, and clearly it still is in games, and it's very common, where people just take half damage. Even if I play Psylocke, and she's hit scan, and still deals half damage, so there's something clearly wrong with the game. And it isn't just Black Panther. Black Panther's just noticeable because of his resets, and if he doesn't get a reset, you notice immediately when you don't get a reg, where most people don't notice because there's no mechanic tied to it, right? I talked about the issue with Black Panther all the way back to beta, and then they fixed it, and then now they have to nerf him because he's now more lethal. A lot of people can't deal with the speed. I used to be able to, and then lo and behold, we can no longer actually land hits properly. So, surprise! Yeah. I used to be able to shoot out Iron Mans flying around the air, Storms, Torches, and Black Panther, and Spider-Mans. And then something happened in Season 2, and now we can't do that anymore. So, you know. And in the beginning of Season 3, we could for a week, and then back to the same shit. Let's see. So Black Panther's getting nerfed, 5 damage and vibranium marks, and 25 HP is probably not going to be enough. We'll see. Sword damage per single slash from 22 to 24, which I don't think that's much damage. It's like 10%. I don't know if that applies to every single attack, so he does a spin maneuver, and it's actually multiple stacks of it, which could add up. Magic's losing her team up, gains arsenal upgrade. Lose bonus damage for team up. Reduce charge time required for magic slash, maximum damage from 1.8 to 1.2 seconds. Magic Slash do effect. Projectiles now pierce enemies and reduce stepping discs cooldown by 1 second per pierce enemy pierce, so you can actually reset faster, like Genji. Genji's based on kills, though. Soul Sword damage, 10. World damage, plus 5. Demon Rage damage per hit by plus 2. Increased melee normal attack damage by plus 10. During Darkchild Ultimate, increases Eldritch Whirl Swingle hit damage from 35 to 45. Incursion damage from 135 to 140. It's a lot of buffs. She might actually be out of control, but we'll have to wait and see. Most of it is basically in line with their team-up bonus. Moonblade now holds up to 2 charges, each taking 6 seconds to recharge. That's insane. This is his right-click Chonk, and his right-click Chonk is used for bursting people down. Pretty sure. Pretty sure that's his Chonk. Let's see. Moon Knight. Moonblade, yes, that's his Chonk. The Chonk does a lot of damage. Chonk is used for some very particular situations, where you want to do fast burst damage. It's very, very, very important. Now he has 2 Chonks, which is actually pretty incredible for even more Chonk. That's his big Chonker. That's his burst damage right there. Very curious. I mean, right now you can already Psylocke people with his Ankh, and that might be out of control. This might actually be too much. Moon Knight could very easily get out of control. Psylocke's getting another nerf, and Wing Shurikens reduce return damage by 4 per Wing Shuriken. And I think it's 5, so that's actually quite a significant nerf. Pretty sure it's 5. Wing Shurikens. Yep. And she also gets health from it, which I didn't even realize for like the first 2 seasons, which is pretty crazy. Fires 5. So this is a nerf by 20 damage. Pretty substantial. Once again, Psylocke eventually reaches a point where she just can't do damage, and she's basically impotent, and there's no reason to play her, by the way. So, I don't think it's really... You can't really un-Psylocke Psylocke without basically destroying the character. And at that point, there's no reason to play her anymore. When I could just play Chonky Boy and do double chonks. People just get pissed off because you can literally get away from them after you execute them. Well, used to be able to execute them, and then for some reason at the beginning of Season 2, we now do half damage a lot of times, so... Which probably is related to cheating. Good. Yeah, so Racer now just kills. I mentioned this before, I think it was at the beginning of Season 3. I mentioned how it's fucking weird how Scarlet Witch just doesn't kill everything in the radius because she's slow and cumbersome. I thought she did. And then I realized that there's actually a damage number to it. Now there's 9999. I mean, they should have honestly made this 66666, so... I mean, come on, developers. You turn those upside down and you have 66666 damage, right? You just to give it the allure, right? Yeah, please. Or 696969 or 996 wouldn't be the same. 6969 would also work, but instead they chose 99999. So it does kill everything now. Can now be healed by teammates during Mystic Projection. Landing it, by the way, is horrible. And Mystic Projection is where she turns into her Wuji form. That actually is extremely big for her. She's no longer ethereal. Now pulls in nearby enemies within 15-meter radius during cast. Depending on how much this is going to be insane. And she also slows you, so... yeah, this could be a big deal. We'll have to wait and see. I don't even know if you can... If this is one of these things where you have to use an ability to get out, or if you can still run away. Right now, you can run away. Squirrel Girl. Acorn damage is being reduced to 100. Squirrel blockade from 35 to 50. This is her lasso. Mammal bond is where she can reuse an ability. I don't know why they increased that. That's where she bounces, and she can bounce again or use her right click again. Squirrel Girl is actually a pretty powerful hero. I've said that basically since she was released. People just don't use her, and she's kind of boring. Yeah. I guess people are starting to use her. Well, she's in a nerf. For how little we actually see her, she's getting a nerf. Winter Soldier. He now stops enemies from using their abilities, which allows him to basically kill them. The fuck is this? This is where he charges, right? Yeah. Where he charges in. The second shift? Does it mean the second time he uses it, or second time hitting the same person? This means, by the way, that potentially on Winter Soldier you drain your first hit on nothing to use your second hit, which will basically give you a kill. This looks like you don't have to hit the same person twice, rather it's just the second charge. Prevents them from moving, which means it's just superior. Which might mean that you just drain the charge and then you attack someone as opposed to hitting them twice. Which is unfortunate. This would actually make more sense if it was you have to hit them twice, right? Second strike might just be the second charge as opposed to hitting the same person twice. Let's see. Invisiwoman. Enemies passing through a guardian shield are slowed from 30 to 35. I didn't even know this effect existed on their shield, by the way. It doesn't say for how long either. It might just be when they're in it, which is why I never notice it. Probably when you have to be in it. Normally, slow effects like this will have a linger, where it'll be applied and then is like for over 2 seconds or something, right? So when you leave it immediately, because you do, it wears off. Once again, the game needs a buff and debuff bar. It kind of sort of has one, but not really. It needs a buff debuff bar because there's some things that happen in the game you don't notice that they happen, and you really need to be able to notice that they happen. So that's probably one of the big quality of life things they could do, which I've also mentioned basically since beta. Ultimate's increased to 180, which used to be able to Psylocke people out of this, and you might not be able to anymore because it's extra 15 healing per second. It's already really slow. New effect slows enemies within range. For her ultimate, or what? You're already slowed when you entered. I guess you're slow when you're in it now, too? I mean, did she really need that? Especially if she gets an extra 15 health per second on her ult? Does she need that? Does she really need that, guy? I don't think she does. I really don't think she does, but okay. Because the way it works right now is the entire team either has to get into the ult or they have to get out because you can't see shit, right? And this is going to very much make it where you don't want to be in the ult. Let's see. Jeff's ultimate leaves a healing pool now, so now he gets a buff to his healing. 8-meter radius healing pool at the point of activation that heals allies within range by 100 per second. That's huge. 8 seconds, that's also huge. Jeff is actually... that's pretty important because he... you could potentially use... it would actually be nice if they buffed his ability to eat people. Like, that's just attack on. But what they should have done is actually buffed when he eats his teammates, and instead give him some sort of maybe damage reduction for getting his teammates out or something. Because he already heals them if you're inside Jeff, if you didn't know that. You get inside Jeff, and he heals you. Which is actually, there's not a lot of Jeffs, if any, that actually either know that or try to use it properly, by the way. Which is kind of, yeah, you know, it could have been, that's actually pretty important. Yeah. It would have been better if they actually buffed his eating ability for teammates as opposed to just giving him attack on damage radius heal with all the other fucking healers. Make it something that's more interesting. You could have even made it where teammates can get into Jeff, right? So after he eats enemies, teammates can, within a certain radius, can get inside of Jeff, right? Which use him like a vehicle. Which would have been better. It would have 100% been better, right? It just sounds fucking hilarious. You just get near him and like it was like his model distorts and eats you or something. So you can use him as like a land vehicle to get away or heal yourself when using his ult. And also should be able to get out of Jeff, by the way. There's a lot of things you could have done to buff this other than just tacking on a healing pool. So, yeah. Healing pool, definitely going to help him. Definitely going to bring him up to speed. That's probably one of the only downsides for Jeff is the fact that he doesn't really have a healing ult. But there's 100% better ways you could have done this. Let's see. His illusions now have less damage, so he can't RPG the fuck out of you. Alpha strike you with an RPG. From his illusions, which is a trend for Loki's at this point. His shapeshift has a lower cooldown now. Or excuse me, lower activation point where it's active by 3 seconds. Residual after using ultimate is now reduced by, which it basically holds it, by an additional 2 seconds, so he's getting nerfs. This is the big one, is where he RPGs you with all of his clones at the same time. Some people just stack all the clones in one spot and then RPG. Because it does a boatload of damage if you do it well. Luna Snow's ult has been reduced by an extra 2 seconds. See, we do nerf her. I mean, she has a booty skin, so I don't think you can nerf her anymore. I don't think you can. They probably sold that shit like hotcakes. She does have a really long ult, though. Mantis gets a little more slippery. Movement boost from Nature Favor. Now decays to 0 over 2 seconds after being hit instead of instantly disappearing. That's her movement boost whenever she's at full HP. That makes sense because she... Otherwise, it basically does nothing because you just take damage, it's gone. Ultron now has... Ultron does not need buffs. Ultron now has an additional damage. Bonus health? He already heals from it. Now he's... What is he healing at now? Yeah, we'll turn this into a video. There's a lot of shit here. He heals for 25 per hit. Team damage 8. I don't know what ray amount is. That's damage? Is this damage or healing? What the fuck is ray amount? He gets 25 healing right now per shot in addition to 8 damage. There's more damage than that. Maybe it's 40. It's 8 times 5. I mean, he's going to be basically indestructible when this is going on, is what's going on here. He already does a shitload of damage, and you can sometimes out-DPS his healing, if you're careful about it. And now they've made it so you can't. 125% damage on his overall damage. 125% healing on his overall damage in his ult means he's going to be indestructible. Especially if he hits multiple targets. He's just indestructible. I don't think there's any way. He does so much damage right now to begin with. Alright, so Ultron's indestructible and ult. Neat. He's run away. Team up abilities. Angela and Thor. Angela gains 100 HP. Thor gains a new Thunderstrike. Thunderstrike Pike from his team ability. Don't know what it does. You have to wait and see it in the game. Some of this stuff, when they explain it in the team-ups, you can't really even talk about it until you see it in the game itself. So this is kind of pointless to even discuss it. It's like, okay, they added this, but you don't have no idea what it does because it's just a name. Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, Magic. Gain a Cyrotrack. No idea what it does. Okay, so Strange team up with Magic. Magic Psylocke. Oh my god! No, Magic Psylocke didn't have a team-up to begin with. You mean Magic Black Panthers is a typo? Psylocke lost it like 2 seasons ago. 1 season ago. Loses Wakanda Master with Magic. Yeah, my guess is this is the rewind for Black Panther, and this is a typo. Gamma Vibranium armor ability through his team up with Hulk. Oh my god. I bet that's even worse than... They nerfed, what, for 5 damage off Vibranium arcs? I bet this is horrible. So, they're just going to ban Hulk. This is like Iron Man all over again. They're just going to ban Hulk. Because it's going to ban Black Panther is basically what's going to happen here. So basically they get a double ban out of banning Hulk. Is the way that works. That's hilarious. This is 100%, this is fucking Iron Man all over again. You make something too strong, an already strong hero, and then it just spirals out of control. Strange. Scarlet Witch team up. Her SMG firebolts are reduced by 12 to 6 damage now. Okay. Alright, so takeaway here, guys. Major changes. Psylocke has a pretty deep nerf to her burst damage. Once again, she's just a make-or-break hero, where she just reaches a point where she can't do what she's supposed to, and she doesn't do anything. So, we'll see whether or not that just completely breaks her, which it might. Already right now, she has problems with the damage reduction people. The fucking cheaters slash exploit, whatever the fuck it is, where people take half damage. Moon Knight has a very meaty buff. Having played, he's probably my second most played hero. That's a very meaty buff, where his Chonk has now 2 charges, which is insane. You might not even, like, before you had to kind of time his Ankhs properly, if you just Chonk, you double Chonk on the Ankh, they might just die. if you double Chonk on the Ankh, they die. I should write that down. Yeah, that's probably the biggest deal here as far as buffs go. That's huge. Also, Scarlet Witch, also pretty big deal. We'll see whether or not how this translates in game itself with the Gravitron well, where she sucks people in. A lot of the healers got a pretty big buff. Jeff has a huge buff. He's probably going to become meta now. For Jeff mains. So there's a lot of people that don't like Jeff, so. He got basically attack on, healing pool. Loki got damage nerfs. Ultron, I'd say the biggest buffs and nerfs here. Ultron, huge. Jeff, huge, especially if you're a Jeff main. Scarlet Witch, very possibly huge, but it depends on how the Gravitron turns out. Psylocke, pretty big nerf. Moon Knight, huge. Black Panther's just getting fucking banned through Hulk. Penny also probably huge. There's a lot of people that seemingly can't handle destroying her nest, so they're just going to get fucked by her. Good for them. Yeah. Once again, Doctor Strange should be a snapping turtle. 400 HP. And then buff his damage and his shield back. Okay. Alright guys, done and done. Kind of sad. Psylocke's, I guess people bitch about Psylocke so much. It's funny how many people bitch about Psylocke that never actually play the character. They just don't like the fact that Psylocke is a character that does well. It's like Spider-Man doing well. They just don't want a character that's not a hit. It's fucking Overwatch all over again. They want a character that's not a hit scan. Oh, she is hit scan. That's not just a shoot an eyeball character to do well, and pisses them off. Oh, we could look at ban rates here. Maybe we'll do that. Marvel Rivals stats. Where are we at? Rivals meta? Where is it? Tracker.gg? Where's the ban rates? Marvel Rival ban rates. I bet she's not even up there. Meta? This one? I don't think it was on the official website. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Season 3.5. Duelist. Competitive. Actually, all roles. Ban rate. Let's see. Let's start with Platinum. Ban rate for Psylocke in Platinum. 0.77%. This is when I was talking about the Season 2.5 nerfs, guys, and how it didn't make sense because almost no one banned her. Diamond ban rate for Psylocke. I believe it used to be like 12%, and it was still like the fourth or fifth most banned hero. 0.81%. Grandmaster. 1.86%. This should actually have a number here so I could actually figure this out. She's like, what, top 15 for being banned in Grandmaster, which is where you start separating from the player base. Celestial. 5% ban rate. Emma has a 40% ban rate. Wolverine 35, which Wolverine's not even good, by the way. 33%. Human Torch. Hulk is 31. BP 22%. Loki 8 points. Loki has more nerfs. Phoenix has more bans than Psylocke in Celestial. Psylocke is at 5%. Once again, this is a couple handful of bitchy fucking streamers that did this. 100% vocal minority. We can literally look here. This is the bitch category right here. This is the people that cry. This is what they do. If you cry about a character, you ban them, right? That's what happens. Eternity. 6.5%. 6.5%. Wolverine, Human Torch, and Emma. All 30+%. Hulk barely almost 30%. Loki still above Psylocke at 7.7%. 6.5% in Eternity. One above all. In One Above All, the top 500, guys, Psylocke is even lower than she is in Eternity. She's at 5.3% in One Above All. Yeah. Make it make sense, guys. This is clearly the big streamers that fucking hate Psylocke that literally just have a fucking earpiece to the developers. That's clearly what's going on here. She's not, like, she's a pain in the ass. She's great, but she's, like, still in the comfortably decent category, but she's not fucking S tier that gets banned every fucking game. So why the fuck are they nerfing her so hard? That's a really good question. And it comes down to who has the developer's ear, guys. Spider-Man, in One Above All, Spider-Man gets nerfed more than, gets banned. D-rank hero, Spider-Man gets banned more than Psylocke in One Above All. And they're nerfing Psylocke. By that logic, shouldn't we nerf Spider-Man? I think we should. My guess is we got some bitch boy here that plays Spider-Man, maybe this is the case or not, that is trying to get Psylocke nerfed so they won't touch his baby boy, but maybe that's not the case. And there aren't many people that would assert that Spider-Man needs nerfs, and I'm not one of them either, or Hawkeye, and Hawkeye gets banned at 8%. So the fuck is going on here, guys? Yeah, that's some bullshit, as the kids say. Crazy shit, guys. Yep. Why is Psylocke getting nerfed, guys? Good question. Good fucking question. I rest my case. We went through the same thing in Season 2.5, guys. It doesn't fucking make sense because it really doesn't. Fucking crazy. This is literally just influence from streamers. I fucking hate that shit. This is streamer bitch mode right here is why Psylocke's getting nerfed. Much less games for One Above All. Well, that's fun. Good job. Good job, streamers. You literally got your agenda pushed into the game. Congratulations. Bitch long enough and hard enough. The reason she didn't get nerfed is because she didn't need nerfs. She still doesn't need nerfs. I play a shitload of her, which is true, and most of the time you can't actually one-cycle people because of the damage reduction shit. Oh, fun. Alright, moving on, guys. I will probably turn into a highlight. I'm not going to do it right now. I don't feel like it.